Good morning everyone. Today I am going to give a lecture on stereochemistry, conformational analysis of cyclohexane. I am Dr. Karthik Rao, Assistant Professor in Department of Organic Chemistry, Gayatri Vidya Parishad College for degree and PG courses. So a cyclohexane structure, when it is present on a plane, that is a planar structure of cyclohexane, looks like this, where each and every carbon has 2 hydrogens and a total number of 12 hydrogens are present on the cyclohexane ring. Even though it has least strain of angle, that is a ring strain, it doesn't adopt the planar structure of a cyclohexane, because the hydrogens which are present on each carbon atom can be eclipsed on the other one, which causes its a strain structure. Therefore, it adopts a most stable structure called as chair conformation. So this is the chair conformation. So where 4 of the carbons are on the plane and 1 carbon is above the plane and the second carbon will be below the plane. Okay, so the 4 carbons which are on the plane, these are the 4 carbons on the plane. 1 carbon will be above the plane and another carbon will be below the plane. When this cyclohexane adopts this chair conformation, it is more stable one, because all the hydrogens will be in a staggered position and they will not be eclipsed with each other, and therefore no strain. That is why chair conformation is the most stable one among all the conformations. If you look at the different conformations, the chair conformation, it has a boat conformation where 2 carbons are both are on the above the plane. In half chair, 5 are on the plane and 1 is below the plane. In twisted boat, 2 are above the plane and 2 are below the plane, but there is slightly different conformation. So likewise, it has 4 different conformations, but the chair conformation is the most stable. So what it does is, from chair conformation into another chair conformation, it transforms. This type of mechanism is called as flipping. That means a carbon with the first carbon will ends with the carbon at the down. So here the carbon is on the above the plane, whereas here the carbon is in the below the plane. That means the carbon above the plane will be flipping into the below the plane. This mechanism is called as flipping. So while flipping, it transforms from one form to the another form. If we see the energy profile diagram of the chair conformation, so the chair conformation looks like this, where the hydrogens all will be staggered. So that is why it is more least energy. So it lies on the bottom of the energy profile diagram. And whenever it is flipping from this conformation to this conformation, it transforms from one form to the another form. So while transforming, it first reaches into the half chair conformation, that is one of the carbon will be going into the plane. Therefore, it is the least stable structure. Then it goes to the twisted boat and the boat. Boat has both the carbons on the above the plane. So that is why these 2 hydrogens are called as flag pole hydrogens, and they have most efficient, or they have the steric hindrance. Then it goes to the twisted boat and again reaches the half chair. Finally, it reaches the chair conformation, which is more stable. This is how a transformation or the flipping of the chair conformation takes place. So the least conformation, the chair conformation, both forms, it can exist in the most of the time. So when we look at the axial and the equatorial bonds, so each and every carbon has axial as well as equatorial bond. For example, if we look at the axial up, so 1, 3 and 5 carbons has axial up. These are the 3 carbons and which has axial up. And likewise, the axial down will be present on the 2, 4 and 6. Then coming to the equatorial up, they are present on 2, 4 and 6. The same way equatorial down will be present on the 1, 3 and 5. So if you look at the flipping mechanism of this one, so 1, 3, 5 up, that is axial up, will end up with the equatorial up whenever it is flipped. Likewise, 1, 2, 4, 6 axial down will be ending with the equatorial down. Okay, so the up will go to the up and down will go to the down when it is flipping. But actually, a carbon in the cyclohexane ring, with all the hydrogens will be represented like this. I have given a clear color to each and every direction. That is, axial up is indicated by red, equatorial down is indicated by green, axial down is indicated by purple, and equatorial up is indicated by blue. So you can see that 1, 3, 5 has axial up. In the same way, 1, 3, 5 has equatorial down, the alternative one. One should be up and one should be down. Likewise, the second carbon also, the one should be up and one should be down. So every alternative carbons has one up and one down. Likewise, all the hydrogens will be in a staggered conformation and they will not eclipse on each other. So when we flip it, again, see this one. The first carbon will ends up at the bottom, that is below the plane, and hence the up hydrogen will end up with the up equatorial. As I have shown you in the previous slide that the up will end up with the up. Okay. So this is how the representation of an axial and equatorial bonds in the cyclohexane ring. So now we will go into a more detail of the interactions between the axials and equatorial. Whenever a bond is present on equatorial, there is no problem because they have no hindrance. But whenever a bond is present on an axial, then it has an hindrance with the third position of the bond. That is, this is the first position, then this is the third position, the hydrogen present on the third position or the position which is here, these two has the interactions with these two, first and third. That interactions are called as 1,3 diaxial interactions. But whenever a hydrogens are present, all the three are hydrogens, there is no problem because all the three hydrogens are present and there is a small molecule, so no interactions will be there. But whenever we change a hydrogen with a bulky atom, for example, when I take a tertiary butyl group, so tertiary butyl group has 3 methyl groups. So one of the methyl group will have an interactions with the, that is steric hindrance with the axial positions which are present on the 1 and 3 position. Okay, so these type of interactions are called as 1,3 diaxial interactions. Therefore, it is very least stable structure. So whenever a group is present, it doesn't take axial position because of this 1,3 diaxial interactions. It always prefers to take the equatorial position. So whenever a bulky groups are present, it always takes the equatorial present like this. Okay, so this is the representation of cyclohexane ring. Now we will see the cis and trans isomers. So we will take an examples of 1,2, 1,3, 1,4 cyclohexanes, and we can also take examples of 1,3,4, 1, etc., etc. Okay, 3 substitution, 2 substitutions. So first of all, what is a isomer? When is a cis and trans isomers are produced? When a cyclohexane ring has 2 or more substituents. If it is having only one substituent, there is no place of a cis and trans. But whenever there are 2 or more substituents on the cyclohexane ring, then comes the cis and trans isomers. So for a cis, it should be both the groups should be on the same side. That means in a cyclohexane ring, both groups should be either on the up or on the down. It may be an equatorial, it may be an axial. Okay, so for example, axial up and equatorial up, or axial down or equatorial down, vice versa. In the same way, for a trans isomer, the 2 groups should be on the opposite side. So for a cyclohexane, one should be up and one should be down. It may be an equatorial and it may be an axial. That is axial up and equatorial down, or axial down and equatorial up. So this is the cis and trans conformation. So Whenever you look at that cyclohexane ring, you should look at the substituents is it is present on up or down. It may be an equatorial, it may be an axial. So for example, for a cyclohexane ring having 1, 2 cyclohexane, for example, if I take 1 methyl, 2 methyl or 1, 2 dimethyl cyclohexane, the cis conformation would be like this. So that means 1 up, that axial up, and 2 equatorial up. So this is the positions. So both are in up, therefore it is called a cis conformation. Or it should be both should be in a down, that is equatorial down and axial down. So this is the conformation. So likewise, if we take the trans conformation, both should be, one should be up and one should be down. So for example, axial up and axial down. So in the same way, equatorial down and equatorial up. So this is the conformations of 1, 2 cyclohexane ring. So when we move to the 1, 3 cyclohexane ring, again, this is the structure of the 1, 3 cyclohexane ring. So whenever we see the cis transform, so this is a 3, not 2. So 1 up, that is axial up and axial up. You can see the diagram, that is axial up and this is an axial up. So both are in the same direction, that is why it is called a cis transformer. So this is also 3. So 1 down and equatorial down, both are down, therefore it is a cis transformer. Next is trans. So 1 axial up and equatorial down. So up and down, therefore it is a trans as well. So next one is equatorial down, and this is 3 axial up. So this is the transform, that is 1 up and 3 down. Okay. So next is 1, 4 cyclohexane. So this is the structure, cis form. So you can see that this is 4. So this is axial up and equatorial up. Again, axial equatorial down and axial down. This is transform. This is axial up and axial down. So up and down. This is also equatorial up and equatorial down. This is the transform, cis and trans forms for cyclohexane ring, which have 2 functional groups. Suppose it has 3 functional groups. So that is 1, 2, 3, sorry, 1, 2, 4 trimethyl cyclohexane. So this is the structure. So we can write 8 possible structures of this one. So first one, so 3 are ending on the up, that is why it is called a cis transform. 1 is ending down, so see this one, this is this position has been changed from here to here. Next, have changed this one. Here this is same constant, and here I have changed this one. Same way I have changed this one. These are the 4 one, where you can look at the 4th one, that is the CH3 present on the 4th carbon, all are same. Now I am just changing the 4th carbon into the axial down. Here it is in equatorial up. Now I am changing it into axial down. Okay, so likewise we can get 4 different conformations. So total of 8 different conformations for the cyclohexane with 3 groups. Okay, so you just write this in a normal planar structure. Whenever we write this in a normal planar structure, we can see that all the 3 are ending up. Therefore, it is represented as a wedge shape here. Up is represented as a wedge shape, whereas down is represented as a dotted line. So you can see that here one of the position is in the down. That is, this is equatorial down. Therefore, it is represented as a dotted lines. Okay. So again, the next structure is here. This is in the down. Therefore, it is represented as a dotted lines. Then the next structure here, both are in the down position, therefore these 2 are represented as dotted lines. The next position here, This is in the down, therefore it is represented as dotted lines. Likewise, all the 8 structure you can write as a cis and trans isomers. You can represent it in a planar structure, or it can be represented as a chair conformation. Both are same, one and the same. So if anyone gives like this, a structure which is given like this without any bonding representation, without any cis or trans conformation, you can write 8 conformations. But if they give a molecule with a clear representation of the dotted or wedge shape, then you have to write the perfect conformation for this one. Okay. So next is the locking groups. So what is meant by a locking group? Already I have said that whenever there is a bulky group present on the axial position, it will have the steric hindrance. Therefore, the bulky groups like tertiary butyl groups will always takes the equatorial position. It always takes the equatorial position. So what is the useful use, or what is the demerits of these locking groups? Because of the presence of the locking group, it always takes the equatorial position. Then you have to arrange the remaining groups according to this one. For example, if we take 1-methyl 4-tertiary butyl cyclohexane, this is the example. So here the tertiary butyl group is a bulky group, therefore it always takes the equatorial position and looks like this. So we can write 2 conformations, one is up and one is down. So this is always in the equatorial, so no more conformation for this one. So this has 2 positions, one is up and one is down. So now which is more stable? This one is more stable because both these are in the equatorial position. Even though here the axial up, it has an interactions with the diaxial here and here. There are 2 hydrogens here. So therefore, what happens? These 2 hydrogens have that diaxial interactions with this CH3 group. Whereas this equatorial position will not have any interactions. Therefore, it is more stable. Okay, this is the less stable. If you write the structure, this one, this is the structures, planar structure in a wedge shape. So if we take the 3 group function, 3 groups, whenever 3 groups are present. So next we have to write 3 different conformations for this one. One is, this is up, this is down, this is up and this is down. Now which one is more stable one? Where all the groups are ending with the equatorial position. So here you can see that this is in equatorial, this is in equatorial and this is in equatorial. Therefore this is the most stable structure among all those 3. So when we write the planar structures, it will look like this one. Okay. So when we like, this is up, this is down, therefore this is down. Okay, this is up, always this is given. So next structure is 1, 3, 4 position is there. So again 3 structures. So which is more stable? Which has all the 3 groups in the equatorial position. This is the most stable one. Whereas this is the least stable one because both are in the axial position. Therefore, these 2 have interactions. So we can write the structures of this one in a planar positions. So now you have to draw the chair conformations of all these molecules. You can see that there are 3 groups, 4 groups, 5 groups. So you can write the chair conformations, and you have to write the normal planar structure also for these conformations which are in chair conformation. Okay, this is the assignment for you. Thank you.